guys, it's Kim Adsit from KinderGals here on Wednesday afternoon. Hope you had a great day at school today. So today I thought we would talk a little bit about how to develop good partnerships for Reader's Workshop, where the kids are reading and talking about books together. So first of all, let me tell you this, that you shouldn't really worry about developing partnerships until your children have already established that routine and procedures for reading books independently. So usually in a kindergarten class, it takes about a month into the school year or a month into you doing Reader's Workshop. And in a first grade class, usually just a couple weeks if they've done Reader's Workshop in kindergarten. But you want to be sure that they are very independent in their ability to get out books, read, stay on task, and they're developing that stamina. Then you're ready to introduce the concept of partners. Now, who are partners? Well, we want them to be at about the same level. This isn't a mentorship. This isn't where you want one child helping another. This is where we have two children that have like ability in their reading level and that they have about the same level of language skills. Because we want children who are able to engage in conversation together. If you put two kids together that are both reluctant, someone is eventually going to talk. If you put together two children, one that's real verbal and one that's not, the verbal child will monopolize the conversation. And I once heard a saying that said, the one who's doing the talking is the one who's doing the learning. So we want to be sure that we have an equal distribution. Okay, so here is how I keep up with who their partner is. We have this chart. The pictures are on here on Velcro. That way I can change them. How often do I change them? About every 2 weeks. Here's how you know it's time to change. You're building good stamina. They're doing a great job working with their partner. And all of a sudden there's a lot of off-task behavior. Well, that means that you've left them together too long. And so now they've become really comfortable with each other and they find themselves talking about things that have really nothing to do with the books they're reading. When it comes to developing stamina in partnership, we need to remember that it's not like we can just add on just as much time as they've been working by themselves. So let's say you've been developing that stamina of them reading independently for about a month now. So their stamina could be 6 minutes, where they're reading by themselves for 6 minutes. So then it's partner time. Don't just give them 6 minutes of partner time because they haven't built the stamina. You have to go back and build the stamina just like you did for their independent reading time. You're going to watch your kids. As soon as someone is off task, partner time is over. And then each day you're adding time on to your partner time just like you're adding it on to your independent reading time. Now, I've done a couple other Facebook Lives that I've shared over to my YouTube channel. Go and find my YouTube channel, Kim Adsit, where we talked about developing that stamina. So if you want some more guidance on that, you can go there to find that. Okay, so now we've got them with partners. So we say, okay guys, y'all read about books. Y'all read now, go ahead. And what I found is my kids were looking at me like I was talking a foreign language. They had no idea. Because here's what I hadn't done. I hadn't scaffolded my kids. I hadn't taught them what it looks like when two kids are reading books together. So my friend Michelle and I, who is my partner in crime with all things reading, we decided that this was what we needed to teach our children. First of all, what is the expectation? What does the posture look like? You need to be elbow to elbow or knee to knee. Okay, so they know to do that because we've worked a lot in partners at other times during the day. So then we're going to do a series of 4 mini lessons. Each day we're going to teach them a different way to read with a friend. The first way, read together. That would be if you had children where they were chorally reading something together. For example, if they have a poetry journal, or books like Brown Bear that are very rhythmic, or song books like 5 Little Ducks. I had a couple kids one day that were reading the alphabet chart together that they had in their bag of books. So these are things that are very rhythmic that they would do together. Now, in the mini lesson, And we've talked a lot about mini lessons too already, so go back to my YouTube channel if you want some more guidance on the structure of the mini lesson. But what they will do is you will model what that looks like. You'll pick a partner. I read the book, The Daily Five. I'm sure a lot of you have read that book. And one of the nuggets I took out of that book was this one concept. And it was, pick the child who you think is going to be off task to be your partner. And that way, when they do go off task, you can give them a quiet little wink and say, I know you know what to do because you've practiced it with me. Okay? Now, after you model, we know that we have to do active engagement where the kids actually practice it. So right there, you need baskets of books amongst your kids that have song books and poems and alphabet charts and Brown Bear, and Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, all those rhythmic books, so that they can practice right there on the carpet doing that with their elbow partner. Now, I don't put them with their reading partner during the mini lesson. They just practice the strategy right there with the person sitting beside them. Okay, then we practice this. The next day, take turns with the same book. And that's a good strategy for a couple things. One is if you have made class books, like where they've each made their own book during center time. Like I do a lot of the cut a sentence books or the cut, stack, staple, read books. Any of those kind of books that we make, the kids keep those in their bag of books. They don't take them home. So they can read these together because they would all have the same book. Or after you've done a guided reading lesson with children and you've revisited that book for their warm-up, then let them put that book into their bag of books, right? So that would be another book, because usually partners are going to be in the same reading group because they're supposed to be at the same level. All right? Then the third day we practice this. I read a book, you read a book. So that would be like if I read a book out of my bag, maybe I had the 3 pigs, and in your bag, maybe you had the 3 bears. So we would take turns reading that. Okay, so we've taught them all 3 ways to read with friends. Then on the 4th day, we practice this. Stay busy the whole time. All right, right here, stay busy the whole time. Because here's what kids will do. You'll say, okay guys, partner time. And all of a sudden you'll look over there in about 2 minutes and 2 kids are just sitting there. Very quietly, very compliant, just sitting there. And you're like, okay, hey, what's going on? We did it. What do you mean you did it? We read together. Well, what we have to show kids is that we stay busy the whole time. So after you read together, then you have to decide as partners which way you want to read together next. Okay, so we've got them reading together. That took us about a week. So now we want to teach kids to talk about books. Okay, we read about them. Now we read together. Now let's talk about them. So here's the chart that we made to help us with that. We teach our children there are 4 different things that you can share from a book. You can share your favorite part, you can share something that's cool, something that you learned, and a connection, something that happened to you. Now, if you look at these 4 ideas, think about it for a minute, because 2 of these naturally fit nonfiction text, because we need to teach children how to think about nonfiction text. So do you see it? Can you think about which ones there are? Yeah, it's the middle 2, right? The that's cool and the I didn't know that. So be sure when you're doing modeling that you're not just modeling with fiction books, that you're also modeling with nonfiction books. Now, look over here, because in my clip art over here, in the little thought bubble, there is a little picture. And that's because that picture is their reminder of what they can share. My favorite part, that happened to me, I didn't know that, and that's cool. So what we do is, after we teach those 4 ways, the kids make a sticky note folder. It's just a piece of paper folded in half with the 4 icons. Then, by each of the icons, we put a couple of the little Post-it notes. Because then what the kids are going to do is, during that private reading time, during their independent reading time, they're going to get ready to share. So as they're reading through their books, they say, oh my gosh, this is my favorite part. I want to share this with my partner. So they take that sticky note off and they stick it right on that page. That way, when I say, okay, partner time, talk about books, they can open right to that page. Now, if you find your kids only ever sharing their favorite part, limit the number of Post-it notes and have them draw the image. So have them take their pen and draw a heart, draw a light bulb. That way, that one can only be used for a favorite part. This will have them thinking about other ideas in their books, okay? Now, what we did is, we know that just because I read a book a couple years ago, I've always done graphic organizers, but I read a book a couple years ago as part of a book study, and if you've never read it, you should really read it. It's called Worksheets Don't Grow Dendrites. It's by Marcia Tate. And in that book, she talks about these 20 strategies that really make children smarter. And one of them is a graphic organizer. Graphic organizers are great ways for children to be able to not only grow dendrites, but also for their brain to be able to take a snapshot. And that helps them be able to retrieve that information more quickly and easily. So what we did was we create a flow map to show our children the exact steps that they need to do. Now, if you're having a hard time seeing this, don't worry about it, because I just put up a blog post this afternoon. It's already up and ready for you, that has photographs of everything I'm showing you and has examples of the children actually doing it so that you can see those, since I don't have little kids standing all around here with me. Okay, another thing we had our kids do was we had them actually do a cut and paste to make their own flow map, because that way they can keep this right in their bag of books. They can put it right beside them. It reminds them of the steps. Now, I had a really smart teacher, and I wish I could remember her name. I need to do a better job of writing names down when teachers share ideas with me, but it was a teacher in Pennsylvania, and she actually taught deaf children. That's what she did, hearing impaired teacher. And so what she did was, because her kids were so visual, she took a photograph of it, reduced it down, and glued it right inside the sticky note folder. I mean, can I just say how smart that is? So right here inside, take a picture of your chart, and that way the kids will have it there even when they can't find what they did with their paper. All right, so if we think back to what we just did in this few minutes here, here's what we know. First, we develop partnerships after the kids have already developed the ability to read independently. We know that their partners should be like ability, both in their reading level and in their language acquisition. We know that partners should change every couple of weeks to keep the focus on the reading and not on the playing. We also know that we need to show our children the different ways that they can read books together. Just to simply say, read with your partner, we're not providing them adequate scaffolding to be successful. And then finally, we know that we want to teach children how to talk about books. What kind of things do readers think about when they're reading books? All right? And then finally, we're going to give them a systematic way to get ready to share by using their sticky note folders. So like I said, you can go back today and you can check out my blog to see all the pictures of everything that I've shown you. And be sure you go back and check out my YouTube channel if you have some questions about how children read books or how they develop the stamina, because we've been saving all of those over to the YouTube channel. Finally, guys, be sure you hit that share button. When you share, thousands of teachers see this. So we want teachers to all be equipped with these ideas that we share with each other. So if you hit the share button, that makes it where more people can see the posts. Y'all have a great afternoon, great evening, enjoy your family, and I'll see you this weekend. Bye.